Hi everyone, and welcome to the Imagining a New We video blog. Oh, you can see a cat there. A video series dedicated to helping educators teach history in ways that are more transformative, meaningful, and inclusive for students. My name is Dr. Samantha Cutrara, and I am so excited to have you here because it's February, and February is one of my most favorite months of the year because not only is there are hearts and pink and red everywhere because of Valentine's Day, it's also Black History Month, and I love Black History Month because to me the celebrations of Black History Month demonstrate so much of how we can and should be teaching Canadian history. Black History Month is such a celebration of resilience, of community, of resistance, of legacy, in ways that this celebration, we don't see it when we are teaching histories that are outside of what we call Black history, for example. There aren't these same celebrations, there aren't these same passionate, emotional connections to these histories. And I think that Black History Month is so integral for reminding us about how important connection, complexity, and care is in our teaching and learning of Canadian history. How are we connecting not only our experiences in that classroom or in that museum experience to that moment, but how can we connect it to a generational legacy of resistance and resilience across across time? Sorry, I just have a cat here that wants my attention. Across time, but also across place. I am not of African descent. My family is from Italy and from France, but I can understand that sense of resilience and resistance in my own family history. And so when I see it reflected through Black History Month celebrations, it reminds me of how I too can have a passionate emotional connection to my family's history. The same with complexity. For me, Black History Month demonstrates so much complexity of histories. And there are a lot of critiques about Black history from within the Black community and from without that say that a month is not enough. It is definitely not. And that Black History Month celebrations can often be one-dimensional, which they certainly can. But I have found when you are looking at Black history celebrations from those within the Black community celebrating for other members of the Canadian community, you see so much complexity of not just this happened in the past, but here is a celebration of who we are in the present based on our ancestors. And care, that sense of legacy between past and present is a careful, not careful, but careful understanding of how and why we can engage in history. So in 2019, I wrote a blog post about this. It started just the way this video did by saying I love February for these reasons, but really kind of digs into these affective, these emotional connections to history that I think Black History Month really demonstrates. And I really encourage you to bring some of that learning into your own classrooms. To be clear, I'm not necessarily saying celebrate Black History Month in your classrooms. You should definitely do that, but more importantly, you should definitely be covering histories of Black people in Canada throughout the year, not just February. What I'm saying is really think about what the Black History Month celebrations can demonstrate about history in ways that you can then bring that into your classroom, that enthusiasm, that interdisciplinary type of way of thinking about history. It's not just the past, it's also culture, it's also about connection, it's also about family, it's about legacy, and bring that into your classroom, because that is what I think is so exciting about Black History Month. If you click the link below, you will be taken to a page that has a link to that blog post, also a link to a couple articles that challenge the notion of Black history, Black History Month, just to be clear, and also a link to a CBC article that talks about the best or the most interesting Black History Month celebrations for 2020. But I also put a couple links there about Black history that you might be able to find useful for your classroom. So teach Black history this month, teach it next month. I hope you taught it last month as well, but learn those lessons of emotional and personal and resilient and resistance and interdisciplinary connections to history, and bring those into your classrooms too throughout the year. And that's what Black History Month can teach the rest of the year, and I hope you find that too. And happy Valentine's Day.